This week, we're talking the depth of field. What is it, how do you do it, and why is it awesome?
And on I'm No Videologist, Craig and I debate when you should use it and when you should never use it.
Hi, I'm Craig.
I'm Braden. Welcome to Crossing the Vector Line,
where we talk about the rules of filmmaking and how to creatively break them.
You may have noticed we're in a slightly different setup this time. New office, we're trying the outdoor shot here. So we've got this beautiful fountain. Let us know what you think about it.
Do you like it? I like it. It's very relaxing.
You'll also notice this nice, beautiful use of depth of field. What is the DOF, as the cool kids call it? The DOF.
The DOF.
We're talking the DOF.
It's the area in your shot that's in focus, right? It's the area that you've decided that you want your viewers to be looking at.
The field would not be like a meadow of wheat.
No.
It's the field of view in your shot.
Field of vision, that's right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Depth of field.
So if you're looking at an image, everything you see here from the foreground all the way to the background, that is the field of view. Where are we in focus? So obviously Craig and I are in focus right now instead of the fountain, because we are the subject. We are obviously the most important thing here.
We want you looking at us.
It's right here.
That's right. So how do you accomplish that? How do you get that depth of field to where you want it to be? How do you increase the depth of field or shrink it down? You know, there are ways to make everything in your shot completely in focus. That's actually what they used to do in the 30s and 40s. The heyday of Hollywood. Professional video was the stuff that looked all in focus.
Yeah, Citizen Kane is a great example of this. There's this historic opening shot. It's this long extended take. It starts off with the kid playing in the snow, comes inside, and then they walk up to the table. Everything, foreground, middle, background, is all in focus at the same time. That was the thing to do at the time.
Yep.
The shallow depth of field, that is a very popular, especially with the DSLR filmmaking. So that's when you have just a very narrow margin of what is in focus. If you just turn the dial a little bit, their nose is in focus and their eyes are out of focus. So how do you get that effect?
First, you need to make sure that your aperture, that your iris is open all of the way, that you're letting as much light as possibly can come through your lens. And that is going to shrink that depth of field. Secondly, you want to make sure that your subject is as far away from your background as you can manage, and your camera is a good distance away from your subject. So it's kind of a 3-tier setup. So the farther your subject is away from the background, the more you're going to be able to get that background out of focus.
And why is this important? Why would we want to do that?
Really, it's about telling your audience, I want you to look here. I don't want you to look here. This is what's important, and I don't want you to pay as much attention to that back there.
So you really need to focus on what am I not showing in the shot. You could maybe see a little bit of it in the background, but that's what makes what is in focus, that sharp contrast. It's a very soft image, but you still have this sharp contrast, really, of this is the key thing you need to focus on.
Sometimes you can get kind of creative with it. Instead of cutting to a brand new shot, in the same shot, while you're still recording, you can simply change that depth of field. You can move it to say, now I want you to look here.
Yes.
And they do that all the time.
Foreground, background.
That's
you
right.
see that a lot, the rack focus, pulling focus.
And if you've got a lens that is able to zoom, by zooming in all of the way, that's another way for you to accentuate that shallow depth of field.
Some good examples of this shallow depth of field is in the movie Seven. Brad Pitt right at the end. What's in the box?
Oh no.
Look at this shot. Oh. His gun is way out of focus, and even like his face is in focus, but you'll notice like his ears are out of focus, but his eyes and the front of his face are in focus. That is a super shallow depth of field.
So they are saying nothing is more important in this shot than the emotion in his eyes. We want you to be looking right here.
What's in the box?
It was like a Christmas present or something, right? Was it? This episode is brought to you by Podio, the online and mobile CRM tool that helps you organize your everyday work. It's fast, easy to use, and completely customizable. It's also great for collaborating with your team. Assign tasks, add comments to files, and have discussions right there in Podio. Check them out at podio.com.
I'm no videologist, but if you're using the shallow depth of field, do not shoot it handheld. I'm looking at you, Paul Greengrass.
Wait. What have you got against Paul Greengrass? This dude was the guy who did the Bourne series.
Love those series. Bourne Ultimatum, journalist meeting that guy in the restaurant scene, and it's all over the place, coming in focus. I wanted to throw up afterwards, because it's handheld, you're moving all over the place, and so your eyes are constantly doing this to be like, what is going on right now? I feel like a newborn owl trying to see, like, are you my mother?
But the great thing about those movies is that it really did feel like I was right in the middle of the action. It felt like I was right next to Matt Damon, doing the stuff that he was doing.
Oh, all that stuff.
It felt real. It felt gritty.
I get that, but my queasiness in my stomach was more real than that.
Okay, so you're telling me if you're going to be manipulating the depth of field as extreme as he did,
have some sort of stabilization. And I'm sure he did on his rig, but man, it was just a lot. So if you're using a shallow depth of field, make sure that the camera rig itself is pretty stabilized. You want the field of vision pretty steady. You don't want that going constantly all over the
sure,
place.
I get that.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like Matt Damon was the best Bourne, but I'm no videologist. So that's this week's Crossing the Vector Line. Tell us what you guys think of our new digs.
We're gonna try a few different setups for you guys.
Yeah.
We're experimenting.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. But also, let us know when should you use a shallow depth of field, when you shouldn't. Like, for example, I love a shallow depth of field in a good romance flick, when you've got two characters, connecting, and you just want a nice soft image just showing them. When should you use it? When should you not use it?
When was the last time you watched a good romantic flick?
The Notebook.
Stop it. Stop it.
We'll see you next week on
Stop it.
Crossing the Vector Line. I just need a moment.
Uncle Bob from Texas. Hi, Uncle Bob. Does he watch our show?
No, he doesn't.
Why not? Seriously, what kind of an Uncle Bob doesn't?
He's out there like wrestling cattle instead. So you're forgiven.
No, you're not. I expect to see you subscribing
At
to
least
our channel, Uncle
subscribe.
Bob.